Hi guys, it's Candy here. I thought I would jump on. The kids are all in bed again. It's after midnight, so it's late, but I haven't had a second to get on. And today I really wanted to film a response to a tag. It's Simon's tag over at the Hermit's Cave, and it's his tag, the TarotTubers A to Z, which I saw. I've been loving finding other people on this. I feel so new to YouTube that it almost feels a bit of a con to call myself a tarot tuber, but I suppose I am. So yeah, so I thought I would go through the A to Z and join in with the tag. So the first one is A. A is for age, and I am 51. I think I'm 51. Yeah, 51. I can't even remember. That's how old I am. I've forgotten. 52 this year, and loving it. I absolutely love being in my 50s. Being in my 40s was a bit of a shit show, I have to say. But 50s, yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. So yeah, 51 is the age. B is for book, your favourite book. Well, this is really easy for me. It's this one, Clarissa Pinkola Estes' book, Women Who Run with the Wolves. An absolute classic. I wish I'd have read this earlier, but I don't think I would have been ready to have taken it in if I'd have read it earlier than I did. It's absolutely full of notes. And I just love it. I think if you're a woman and you haven't read this book, you need to immediately go and order it. It's life-changing. What she does is she takes myth and fairy tale and classic tales, and she breaks down all the characters in the tale as different aspects of your own persona. So the villain becomes part of who you are. The crone is part of who you are, the hero. So every character that appears in these tales is an aspect of you. And when you view story and tale telling in that light, it completely transforms the messages and the way you take in story. It's the most fantastic way of linking yourself to female power and to healing. It's an incredibly healing book. It opens your eyes to all sorts of hidden realms that might be going on underneath the surface as a woman. Really amazing book. It actually inspired some artwork. I've always been inspired by words. I use words and translate that into visual art. And this book was no exception. I did a piece based on the tale of the Bluebeard, which was really influenced not only through my own life experience, but also reading the breakdown of that tale in here. So this is such a good book. I absolutely love it. Okay, C, what it is that you wanted to do for a career when you were a kid, and what it is that you actually do now. So C is career. Well, when I was a really little kid, all I wanted to do was be a librarian, but always loved books, always loved reading. And right from a little kid, 6 and under, I can remember walking to the library every week. At 5, I can remember it. And at the little window with all the Topsy and Tim books in. Oh, and I always felt like walking into a library was like a warm hug. And I couldn't think of anything better than to work in a library. I mean, I envisaged it as like sitting in the corner in the quiet with books all day and being paid for it. Of course, it's not that. But that's all I ever wanted to be when I was a kid, was a librarian. really funky. And then it changed. I wanted to be an artist. So my tastes change. Reading, words and visual art, the two have always gone hand in hand for me. But in the end, I ended up training to be a teacher. So I did all my art degree in London, worked for a while in the fashion industry doing some knitwear designs, and then retrained as a primary school teacher, which I worked for over a decade as a year one with the 5-year-olds, a primary school teacher. Specialising in art with them all as well. At the same time, I used to do art workshops as well for older kids and in other schools, and always carried on with my art career at the same time as teaching. And now I packed up teaching. Well, I went part-time when my children were born, so 14 years ago now, and realised that my eldest daughter has got Smith-Magenis syndrome, so a really rare disability, and it just wasn't feasible for me to be working full-time. So I went part-time as a teacher and a carer. And then when I had 3 kids, it just, even part-time became unfeasible, and because part of Tilly's condition is she doesn't sleep. So I stopped being a teacher 10 years ago, and I've been a full-time carer for my daughter since then, but still keeping the art going as well. So professional artist and a full-time carer for my daughter. So it's a good life. D is for dream. What are your dreams? Oh, how long have you got? I am such a huge dreamer. I love to chase after a dream and to have a dream. Always it's been to be a famous artist, have people queuing up for commissions. I mean, I do sell my art, and everything I've done I've sold. So, you know, we're partway there, but I've got no big galleries knocking down my door. I would love an Etsy shop, which I need to crack on and sort that out. But just to develop my art career, I'd love to get into doing witchy art and tarot decks and oracle decks. I have some ideas actually for an oracle deck from a series of art that I did. For me, the issue with dreaming is I have so many ideas. It's trying to not spread it out so I don't achieve anything. My magic garden, I'd love that to get in the yellow book in the open garden scheme. I would love a professional tarot business out there in a bohemian tarot reading caravan. Oh, there's just so many. I'd like to be fit again because I used to be really fit. I would like to compete in fitness shows. That dream's quite a long way off, as you might be able to see. But, you know, it's 51 years young and all that. Don't see why, you know, nobody's getting rid of that dream yet. I have let go of the dream to be a world-class ballerina. That was actually the first dream I ever let go of. But, you know, yeah, there's only so many years in a life, isn't there? Yeah, so I'm a big dreamer. Too much, really. All right, your essential item. What can't you live without? Is for essential item. An art studio. I just do not know how people live without a creative space or an art studio. In fact, I do know because when I was married, I wasn't allowed to have an art studio. We'll say no more about that and we'll move on. But my art studio or a creative space, I am very lucky now. I have a huge art studio that overlooks my magic garden and it is splendid. But my art studio, yeah, I actually need that. That's an essential item. F is for your favourite Rider-Waite Smith deck. Well, I only have one. And it is, oh, I forgot this was a question. I should have got this out. It's this one. So just your bog standard, I don't even know what you'd call it. So it's this one with these backs. It's the only one I've got. I have been looking at the, I can't think of the name of it. Is it the Neon Rider? The new ones that come out, the pink one, the Love one, with the pink holographic back. I keep looking at it, but I just can't afford it. But oh my goodness me, I'd like that. I would really like that, but I can't afford it. But this one's fantastic. This one, like I said in my June Happies video, has taken on a whole new significance because my dad, who I lost over 10 years ago now, has come to me a couple of times through this deck, through his voice. Normally he's come to me in dreams in a very significant way. It's a whole nother story, but on repeat in a very significant way. But he came to me through this, so a couple of times I've done readings specifically to connect with my dad with this deck. So this is very precious to me, and it's the only one I've got. But you know, that pink holographic Rider-Waite new deck, yummy. Gold or silver? Silver or white gold, although I'm not really a jewellery person. My ears used to be pierced, but with my daughter Tilly being born and grabbing at my jewellery, I haven't worn earrings for years. My hands are very squat and weird, so rings kind of look a bit odd. And I get claustrophobic really quick with jewellery. Like if I suddenly think, oh, I've got to get a necklace off, and I can't get it off literally within 2 seconds, I'll break it. I have weird claustrophobic fits with jewellery. I love these. This is my crystal necklace with a turquoise in. So I love crystals. I love raw crystals. Raw crystals set in silver. Oh, that's what I like. H is for height. How tall am I? I used to be 5'4", so not very tall, but I'm not 5'4" anymore. I'm not 5'8". I haven't suddenly shot up. I think I'm shrinking. I think I'm just under 5'4" now, so 5'3". Yeah, 5'3", so not tall at all. And my ideal day, I is for ideal day. I think a hike, some sort of hiking. Hiking where you can see the sea to start with. So you start off at the beach and a coastal path, but then that leads into an enchanted forest, because I love the sea, but I love forests as well, like a woodland, an ancient woodland. And then the ancient woodland backing up to like a Welsh mountain. And at the top of the Welsh, all my stuff on my back with some good friends, so company as well, and my dogs, and a backpack on, and to wild camp at the top of the hill overnight. So when I first read The Famous Five when I was a kid, the idea of them all going off to Kirin Island and packing the boat with all their stuff, and then Anne getting to that little cave and setting it all up, that really got into my psyche. And the idea of going away on an adventure with all the stuff you need to make your little house when you get there, not having to come home, that really got in. And wild camping does that for me. The idea of going somewhere, not having to go back to the car, and you've got all your little house to set up. Yeah, that I love. So a wild camping night somewhere, and a fire to watch the sunset, and cold beers. Oh yeah, no, that's my idea of a fantastic day. And halfway up the mountain, if we could have a little secret glade full of charity shops just to stop off. Yeah, that will do. A joke. J is for joke. Oh, Tilly told me a joke earlier and I've forgotten it. Tilly's jokes. Tilly is my eldest daughter with Smith-Magenis syndrome. Tilly is the best joke teller in the world, because she doesn't care if she knows the joke or not, she'll just use words. So an example of a Tilly joke would be, why did the banana cross the road? Because it had shoes on. And she will throw jokes like that at you all day. And me and the other two kids, because I've got 3 kids, we've all learned to just love Tilly's jokes. So silly jokes like that, they crack us up now. But really, I am more of a physical humour sort of joke person. So if somebody walked in and tripped over the table, I'm afraid I'd be the person like snorting with laughter at it. So yeah, any physical humour. K is for kids, so I've just touched on that. I've got 3 kids. I have got my eldest daughter, Tilly, and my middle daughter is Poppy, and my little boy is Busby. He's not so little now, he's 10, Tilly's 14, and Poppy is 13. So I was late to having my kids, but they are a complete joy. And I've got 2 fur babies as well. So, yeah, 2 crazy fur babies. Living arrangements. L is for living arrangements. Well, I live here with the 3 kids. So I've got my own house. I live in the middle of England, just outside Birmingham, as you can possibly tell by the accent, in Worcestershire. And it's just me and the 3 kids and my 2 dogs. I've got a big garden and my art studio here, and we are a happy little team. I also, when this pandemic isn't on, split my time between here and Wales, because I have a caravan by the sea in Wales, which is wonderful. At the minute we're not going up because we're shielding with Tilly. But yeah, so it's kind of split. We split our time, weekends and holiday weeks and stuff. So it's nice, so we get ocean time as well. A Marseille deck. Well, I only got one, and I think it's a Marseille deck, because don't forget I'm new to tarot. So this is the Tarot de Maria Celia, and I really loved this deck. I loved the fact it was in a little tin. I loved the colours of it. I loved the imagery. I loved the patterns in it. I understood it was slightly different when I ordered it, and it wasn't like the Rider-Waite-Smith. But I love these pick cards. I love them, and yeah, these illustrations I thought were just lovely. So I've only got the one. So it's my little tinned Tarot de Maria Celia is my only Marseille deck. Nicknames. Oh, I've got a few. Well, my middle name is Florence. So with my first name, I am actually officially a Candy Floss, if I shorten Florence. So I am called Flossie or Floss by my beautiful adopted brother in Ireland, and I have friends in London from my art degree days that call me Janet for some reason. It just stuck. Sometimes I'm called Floss, or anything really. I'll answer to most things. O is for Oracle. I haven't got many oracles at the moment, but my very favourite is this one, the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. So before I was pulled into any sort of spiritual path, because I was raised atheist by my parents, so I'm really late to any sort of spiritual path at all. The one thing that I did know that was always around me was a call to animal energy, and animal encounters really meant something and was significant. So I knew that I really wanted a animal deck to work with. And my daughter's the same. She's pulled to animal energy as well. For me specifically, with the name Morrigan, I've had some very significant encounters. The first one I was about 11 with crows and ravens, which have just been mind-blowing. I've had a number of really amazing things, but also the octopus and the swan. Those are my three main animal energies that I work with, and this deck is just really beautiful. It's got some really beautiful imagery in, so I would highly recommend this if you like animal energy cards. This is a great one. And there's my swan card. What am I passionate about? Art and creativity, really. As a primary school teacher, I heard a lot of kids, even by the age of 5, say, I'm no good at art. And that hurts my soul to the core when I hear anybody say that, adult, child, whatever age, because I truly believe that everybody is creative. Everybody can draw. It just depends on what you class as good drawing. Everybody can draw, everybody can paint. Some people can write, some people garden, some people cook. So I think I'm really passionate to encourage people to see the creativity that they can bring. And I think everybody's uniquely creative. So I'm really passionate about that. When I was teaching, I was really passionate about empowering people to see how creative that they truly are. I'm passionate about learning. I love learning new things. I don't think we're ever through with learning. I am passionate about adventures and being brave and the environment, rescuing animals. And I'm also really passionate about kindness, people who are kind, and trying to give out kindness as well. Q is for quote. It is the quote that says, I'm going to butcher this, look at the world through glittering eyes. For those that don't believe in magic will never find it. It's that quote. I should have written it down, but I didn't. I'm not that organised. But you know the one. It's about believing in magic. I love that quote. I love it so much I can't remember it. But I do. That's my very favourite. Right, relationship status for R. Chronically single. Yeah, I'm single. Single mom with the 3 kids, just me and the dogs. I have a tendency to, every time I think about getting into another relationship, ending up looking on rescued dog sites. So, I mean, I've been single now for 3 and a bit years. So divorced for 7 years. Single for over 3. I've loved being single. Possibly might be open to another relationship. Who knows? I might. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to feel loved and to be able to love as well. But, you know, there's a lot going on in this little camp here. And, you know, there's a lot going on. It would take a rather amazing individual to be let into our little team, I think. And so far, all I've done is prove to myself that my picker is a little bit broken. I tend to go for the same types who aren't kind and who aren't truthful. I've had to take time out and work on myself. But there are lessons to be learned, and I've learned them. And I trust myself more now. Certainly have better boundaries. Certainly will act on my gut instinct now and won't wait for proof. And while that work was going on, I've been single and I've loved it. Yeah, but so not racing towards the cliff like the fall for the next relationship, but open to it. So, you know, Jason Momoa, if you're watching, you know where to find me. Right, your favourite season. Ooh, the gardener in me says summer, spring and summer. I do love all the seasons, and I love the fact I live in the UK where we really get to enjoy them all. But it's got to be summer. It's got to be summer, really. Tarot, first and last. Well, the first one was this one, 6 months ago. So I'm very new to it. And then the last one that came, where is it? There it is, hiding under the Oracle deck. It's the beautiful Guardian Tarot. So, U is for upset. What upsets me? Any sort of bullying, any lying, any gaslighting. I lived a very difficult time with gaslighting and bullying. And having got out of that sort of environment, when I see it, I pick up on it really quickly, and it immediately triggers something in me. It's something I just simply cannot tolerate. I'm also a Sagittarian, and you don't lie to a Sagittarian. The truth over anything else. So I think lying is the main thing. If I catch you in a lie, that's probably us done forever. V for vlog. What's the vlog that you're most proud of? I think the question was for that. Well, I've only been on YouTube properly a very short amount of time, so I think it would have to be my first garden tour vlog, because it was the first one I did and I was really worried, and it was at the beginning of lockdown and the garden was trashed, so it was kind of felt vulnerable putting it out there. Felt a bit silly as well, just walking around the garden talking. Was scared the neighbours could hear. The kids were really encouraging, going, "Go on, Mum, go on." But so when that went up, I was really, really proud of myself for being brave enough to do it. And now I'm loving it. A few months on, I'm really loving it. So I think it's got to be the first one I put up, the first of the garden tours. What's my weakness? That's got to be food, and not food in a good way. It's not like I'm a real foodie and I love food. It's food is a weakness in a really disordered way. I have the most unhealthy relationship with food of anybody I've ever met. My weight can spiral out of control at both ends of the spectrum. I did have about 15 years where it was completely in control and it was very steady and very healthy. But then getting divorced triggered it all off, and it's completely out of control again now. And it's very disordered. So I think my weight range as an adult has ranged from about 17 stone down to about 6 stone. So very disordered at either end. It's very hard for me to get the balance right. So at the minute, that is something I'm struggling with. I did wonder about whether to start vlogging about any of that, but it is an area where I feel very vulnerable to talk about it, because it's been a lifelong issue. So yeah, that's a massive weakness. It's like a disorder around food, which I suppose is an escape. It's a numbing mechanism, unhealthy coping mechanism, which would make sense coming from the background that I've come from. So yeah, food, not good. Right, X is X-rated. Tell us something that you did that was naughty. Well, my kids watch my videos, so Mommy does nothing naughty, kids, ever. And Y is for yesteryear, so a year that you loved. Now, I think turning 50, it's the first, I've waited till 50 to really give myself permission to follow my passions. I'm finally no contact with all the people that have been abusive in my life and have shown me disrespect. I've broken patterns of thinking that that's normal to accept disrespect. And I've got boundaries now in place for the first time ever. And I think once you step out of that sort of mindset that you don't deserve any better, the whole world opens up to you. I wish that I'd have done it sooner, because to have lived half a century in that sort of mindset with people around you that do that, it's a huge waste of time. But then I wouldn't be the person I am now, and I actually like the person I am. So the one thing it did is it proved to me that I've got a good heart, because when you're surrounded by people who think nothing of being cruel, to get out away from them, you can look back and think, whoa, okay. So I think the time is now. I loved turning 50. I found my spiritual path. I'm free now to follow all the things I love. I have nobody telling me no, nobody disallowing it, nobody ridiculing me. Nobody gaslighting me to waste my time, and my life is now my own. I've picked up the pen and I'm writing my own story now for the first time ever. So yeah, now is the best year. When I hit 50 and turned 50, it was like I stepped into a real feeling of freedom. I think crone energy is a rather splendid hat to wear. And Zen, what do you do to stay calm? Oh, well, a lot of the time I don't stay calm. So, yeah, I don't. But drawing, I think, if I'm going to pick anything, then drawing. I do a lot of ink work, so straight onto the page with ink pen. So you have to keep your wits about you when you're doing that. And I do a lot of stippling with ink pen. And it takes hours and hours and hours to get a drawing done when you're working with that technique. It's a technique I love. It utilises the way I see colour, because I see colours, I think, differently to other people. I see colours in layers. I don't just see a blue, I'll see layers in the blue. So when I stipple, I am just putting down the colours that I'm seeing. And you do get in a meditative state when you work like that and for so long. So drawing for me is probably the biggest Zen ever. When I'm fitter and able to run, I run. I used to race half marathons. 5 years ago, I had a car accident. Somebody drove into my car and damaged a tendons in one of my feet. So that has stopped my running for the last few years, plus the weight gain after my divorce, which I'm trying to counteract now. So my exercising and my fitness and my running, that's not happening at the minute, but running used to be a huge meditative process as well. I would get into the rhythm of running and I loved that. So I do, within the next year, I would like to be back out running again. That's a goal. So drawing, running, and I have just started doing daily meditations in front of my altar. It's not something that comes naturally to me. I'm very much a go, 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 go sort of person. And the thought of switching off, not a natural process at all, but I am loving it. Lighting the candles, drawing out a circle, sitting down. My daughter Tilly joined me this morning in it, and we called in all the elements. We sat down together in the middle. We put some Zen music on and we meditated just for 10 minutes a day. But yeah, I think I am stepping into that practice now. So yeah, so that's the A to Z of me. It's been lovely sharing all of that, and I'm about to go and search the tag now to see how many lovely people I can find. So thank you, Simon, for the chance to join in on another tag. Thank you for your wonderful channel and all the inspiration that you bring. Has been really wonderful finding you on YouTube. And thanks everybody else for watching and listening to me waffle on. I'll see you next time. Bye.